today's video, we'll be discussing how identity is indeed fluid. And again, this is in the series where we're discussing how the church has become the world that we need to shun. And so in order to start this discussion rightly, again, we're going to go into the word. We're going to look back in Genesis when man was created, right? And so we'll go to Genesis 1:27. It says, so God created man in his own image, in the image of God, which if you go to John 4:24, God is spirit. And in the image of God created he him, male and female created he them, right? So when man was originally created in Genesis 1:27, he was a spiritual being, male and female, it says. Man was a spiritual being that was created in the image of God, meaning as God was. He existed as God existed, with the dominion and power and authority of God, right? He was a spiritual being, male, female, both, okay? Just like how we cannot quantify what God is, we use he to as his gender only because that is how our language has adopted it. But we know that language cannot encapsulate all of what God is. He's a boundless entity, and so are we in our true nature. Then we move on down to Genesis 2:7. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. So again, this is where man got his physical nature that was made of matter. And this physical nature became the house. And, some ways you can see it as a prison, right? Because this physical nature is limited. But the true nature that's within that physical nature is not limited. It's boundless. So then you have a physical nature that allows you to operate in the earth, but it limits you as well because it's a limited nature. And so then after the Lord God created man, right? Because remember, the true nature was male and female. So when he created the man, he had male and female, correct? And then he put man into a deep sleep, and out of his rib, he created woman. And so woman also had male and female within her. And so now we get to today or now, and we're operating. And in our physical nature, it is true. My physical nature is a woman. But my true being cannot be limited to just a woman. My true being is boundless. It's boundless in its possibilities. It's boundless in what it's able to do. It's boundless in what it wants to express. It's boundless in that because my true nature was created in the image of God. And so what happens is identity is fluid, but we do have a physical nature. But what has caused man grief was that there have been limits placed on the physical nature by society and also by the church to make people feel confused within. Because all I am doing is expressing what's within me because I have male and female within me. So all I'm doing is expressing what's within me. And you from outward are telling me, no, you are in this form. You cannot express that. So then I'm confused. I feel like I'm in the wrong form. But no, you're not in the wrong form. Because then we're all in the wrong form. You are beyond that form. And it is fair to not allow anyone to limit you to just that form. And so the church and again society has heaped so much misery, not allowing people to express what's within them and making them feel like an abomination when we can see their true nature, which is spirit, is boundless. It doesn't have limits on how it operates or expresses. And so let's go back to one of the main things that is used. All right. So we're going to go to Genesis 3. We're going to go on to 16. So this is after Adam and Eve were now, after they ate the apple. And so we know that the Lord God came and cursed them. Reaped curses left and right. And so the curse, verse 16, chapter 3, verse 16. Unto woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. And sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. This is a curse. This is a curse. This is a curse that you are telling us to operate in. This is a curse. Because what happens is when you actually wake up to your true nature, that just can't be. The God within you is the one that is leading you. You have become one with that God. And this is why Paul again says, you're not male or female. You're not Greek, non-Greek. I cannot limit you to that. Your being is beyond that. So to say that a woman has to operate this way or a male has to operate that, you are carnal. You are not looking at the spirit or the spiritual nature of a human being, and you are then limiting them so that they can never walk in their true capacity. That was a curse. In addition, the man was cursed. It said, and because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I have commanded thee, saying, you shall not eat of, cursed is the ground for thy sake, and sorrow thou shalt eat of it all the days of your life. In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread till you return to the ground. So then man was now, you see how we are saying man is the provider, blah, blah, blah. Man then now became cursed to provide from the sweat of his breath. That is a curse. And we are saying that you need to operate as this or you're an abomination. No, you need to rise above the curse, because Jesus Christ said that man should not work or labor for food that perishes, but food for everlasting life. There's more. And we are limiting beings. So again, this is how the church has become the world. We are not looking at things spiritually. We are looking at things very carnally. We are beyond the curse that was said over us in Genesis 3. Because when Jesus Christ came, he came to undo the entire Old Testament. We discussed this in the last video. He came to undo it. Give us new life. Life abundant. And we are resurrecting old things. We are forcing people to operate in old things. Your spiritual nature is beyond that. Don't allow anyone to limit you. That you need to act like this. You need to act like this as a woman. You need to act like this as a man. No. See what the Spirit of God is presenting within you, because that is where your strength lies. We have people who are just neglecting who they are. How can they ever walk in what they were called to walk in? How can they ever find the destiny God has for them? They are now raising your ordinances above the God that is within them, neglecting the God that is within them. All of this is for us to know that the Spirit of God abides in each of us. And it is up to us to find what he is saying for what we are to bring forth to this earth. Forget all the ordinances and all the accolades this world wants us to adhere to be holy or to be distinguished or to be formidable. That will come from within.